Below is an emotional, engaging story inspired by the title. The caregiver sang softly to the old man, unaware his millionaire son was watching, and changed her life. This version is woven as a narrative fit for an approximately 15-minute YouTube video, rich in depth, pacing, and emotional resonance. She knew just one lullaby, but that single song would change everything. For a heartbeat, the room fell silent. Maria's voice hung in the air, tender, almost shy, while the elderly Mr. Townsend closed his eyes, hands curled gently around hers. The faint melody of a lullaby she'd sung since childhood drifted through the room, small as a sigh, but powerful enough to slow the rush of the world outside that hospital window. She didn't notice the visitor at the foot of the bed, Michael Townsend, his son, a self-made millionaire whose life moved at the speed of bids, deals, and deadlines. In that moment, Michael was unmoored, bracing himself against a burden he rarely examined. Watching his father fade, helplessly. Part 1, Fragile Beginnings. Maria arrived at the care home just as autumn tipped into winter, her heart heavy from upheaval. She'd left behind a series of low-paying jobs where she was wearied, overlooked, and outmatched. But here, her soft voice mattered. Mr. Townsend, once a titan of industry, carried a hushed vulnerability under pallid skin. Maria's singing became their balm. Every evening, she brought the same lullaby, a song to calm a frightened child, because Mr. Townsend, too, felt afraid of being forgotten, of ending unspoken. And Maria, who knew loss intimately, recognized that fear. Her voice was both offering and echo. Part 2, Unseen Salvation. Michael, accustomed to swift solutions and tidy results, didn't expect to stand transfixed by his father's quiet transformation. He thought he'd lost his dad years ago, to pride, to work, to emotional distance. So, when Maria sang, Michael saw again the spark of remembrance in his father's eyes. He saw gratitude, vulnerability, and the tiny thread of human connection that had slipped years ago. External pressures mounted. Maria's contract was temporary, she needed a more stable job to support her young daughter at home. Meanwhile, Michael wrestled with a growing rip in his corporate empire. His business partners demanded attention. His employees whispered that he was changing, but he didn't care. All his money, he realized, hadn't bought what mattered most, the chance to simply care, for someone who needed it, and to be needed in return. Part 3, Converging Paths. One evening, after another lullaby, Maria's voice cracked, her own sorrow surging up like a cold wave. Mr. Townsend opened his eyes, startled. He'd seen that sorrow before, in his own reflection. Michael, clasping her hand, whispered an offer that startled them both, a stable position. No longer as a caregiver, but as a trusted companion for his father. He'd ensure Maria could care for her daughter without